good Lord. There's some major distortion going on there, like bending it. Something's happening. Weird. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and getting killed. We are late, and I am sorry. Late for a very important date. I apologize there, folks. I've been in the middle of trying to do some stuff around here while also getting ready to do some, doing some family stuff because we're obviously in funeral watch here over the next couple days. We're doing all of that stuff. And so I apologize for being a little late. Thank you all for bearing with me. You all have had definitely enough time to hit the like button. Surely to God, you guys have hit the like button and done what you needed to do with that. I would have to think that, for the love of God, you guys have hit the like button. We should have at least 638 likes in here. Oh, no. 33 likes in here at least. Hit that like button. Do what you want. I don't tell you what to do. You do what you want. You don't want to hit the like button? As a matter of fact, don't hit the like button. I don't want you to hit the like button. I expect you to not hit it. Hey, how are you guys all doing today? Everybody doing well? Everybody doing good? Hope you're doing well. I've literally been under the impression that all day today was Tuesday. Where the hell's the button? It's not on Facebook, Catherine. That's the problem. You're on Facebook. You can't find it. If you're on Facebook, it doesn't really matter. If you're watching on YouTube, it's the thumbs up button. It looks like this. That thumbs up button right there. But that's on YouTube. Fine, I'm on. Yeah. That's hilarious. It seems like only half of us like your button. It is what it is. The button's not for everybody. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. And while I was actually doing my little errand here, I was actually still doing some work. We've got some business to talk about from the city of Muncie tonight. We've got some business to talk about from Henry County. I'm gearing up here, not this week, but next week. I'm going to go to a meeting in Madison County, so we'll start having some Madison County news. I was kind of poking the bear in Madison County a little bit earlier. They made their Madison County health department made a post that was talking about how they are no longer going to be offering COVID. They're no longer going to be providing COVID testing, rapid or PCR, at the Madison County Health Department. So the Madison County Health Department has declared COVID is over. It's done. Finito. Nipped. It's been nipped in the bud. It's over in Madison County. Who knew? Anyway, I looked at that and I thought, maybe it's because they're in a need to conserve money. But we built a $900,000 pole barn for an RV with COVID money. Yeah, no. Hey, if I had an RV, maybe I would want it parked in a barn too. If I had a dead body, maybe I would want to put it in a beer cooler too. I do have a dead body. I don't know that it would fit in a beer cooler. All right. So, welcome, folks. This is the dark side of the moon. Hey, speaking of the moon, if you are in an area where you can see that thing, go outside and see it tonight, because it is the blue moon. It's the super duper blue moon. This is like the Trump moon, the super duper moon. It's super in that it's duper. It's a super blue moon. It's the second moon in August, and it's been this is the last time you'll be able to see this until the year 2037. So go out, take a look at that moon, and go out and it's bigly blue. It's bigly blue. Absolutely. So go out and check that out. No, so we've already figured it out. Hello, Jimmy Judy. Jim, I'm going to announce it right now. Jim is Judy. Now, that's all I'm saying. But that's all. All right. So, is Judy Jim? Well, I don't know. Time will tell. So, what I did say, though, on the Madison County Post was, what did I say? I kind of forgot what I said earlier. Oh, I said Madison County government needs to conserve as much money as possible. Funding wanted sex crime fugitive is expensive business. I know that the county is needing to try to fund money to what's his name? Steve Sumner's, who's on the run. And so they cannot be funding. Hold on, I have my glasses on. I can't see what you're writing. They can't be funding other, citizens' needs, because they may have to give some money for bananas. Whitey Bulger was on the run from the FBI for years and years and years and years and years. And they finally got him. He was really paranoid, and he didn't go outside. Him and his significant other, they had taken and they got people to give them like soap, and they had like soap that they had hoarded up, and they had money and socks, and they did all this stuff, and they never went outside. And then finally, in the last year, he went out, and someone thought that they recognized him, thought that it looked like Whitey Bulger, and they nabbed him. But he was on the run for a very long time. And, Steve Sumner is not he's not a young man by any stretch, but he's not an old man. I mean, he can easily live another 30 or 40 years, and that's a lot of time on the run. So, I don't know, but hopefully Madison County wakes up. Hopefully the citizens over there get some officials that say, no, we're not going to fund sex crimes fugitives, and we're going to keep it in town. Likens bought all of his property. Likens, of course, is a family name. They have 2 members in local government currently over there. It is a mess, man. Madison County might be maybe worse off than any community at any given time when I first went into it. So we'll see. I'm going to start the big adventure there next week. It was going to be this week, but they heard that I had a death in the family, and I needed my Thursday night. And so they graciously pushed it to next Thursday night. So Thank you, Madison County. That was grand of you. I very much appreciate it. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so moving on, I wanted to talk to you all about the big news of the day. And of course, that big news was none other than my computer stops working. Give me 1 second here. Oh, man. Look, I am completely discombobulated. Give me 1 second here, folks. I knew that I was screwing this all up. I'm off screen, so I can't see comments for one moment. Second to get all this posted here. I knew I hadn't done that. Okay. Okay. Sorry there, folks. I had to get that shared there. I kind of completely forgot where I was in time and everything. So earlier today, going into going into today from last night, we were under the impression that one Muncie police officer was going to be sentenced this morning, and a second former Muncie police officer was going to be sentenced yesterday. Okay. We were told that they were going to sentence Jeremy Gibson today, and that they were going to sentence Chase Winkle tomorrow. But what I have noticed, and I don't know why this is, and I'm going to call the Southern District Court and down in Indy, and I'm going to ask what the deal is with this. They have bumped other people's things around without telling anyone, which I honestly don't. I can understand making something later than, but I do not understand setting a court date for 2:30 on Thursday and then having that court date at 1:30 on Wednesday. I don't understand that. I don't. I honestly think that it's obfuscating the right for people to be able to be there and witness what's going on and take part in this process. So I think that that's really interesting. Anyways, as we have learned from the court record, and then there was a great article written up by Kara Kinney, of course, one of my good friends, a news gathering partner from WRTV in Indianapolis, RTV 6, I think it is. She did a great story. Of course, she's an investigative journalist that's been on Muncie's ass. She has been on these people, and she is not letting up. Matter of fact, she's the reporter that told Ridenour that ask Ridenour point blank, face to face, how it feels to be the first mayor after Dennis Tyler who did time in prison and he's still the least transparent mayor going. And Dan just kind of looked at her. He said he didn't think that was true, and I don't think he's done an interview with her since. So that's rather interesting. So I don't know. So the the story says, we'll share it here so you guys can see who we're looking at. Turkeys don't fly. Who we're looking at here. You know what? I don't know. And I'm glad you said that, because today while I was speaking with her, we just briefly messaged back and forth, just real briefly. And I knew she was busy and I was busy, so I didn't ask. But I will send her the videos tomorrow, and I will ask her just what the deal is. What's the deal? What's the deal with the news not covering Henry County? Oh, here we are. Two former Muncie police officers sentenced in excessive force cases. And it shows us here this photo array of officers sentenced. And this guy is like the lone holdout. He did not plead guilty. He said, nope, I'm going to trial. And in his first run at bat, they declared a mistrial. So they're getting ready to retry him, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. So the story says, so you guys know, this gentleman here is the main culprit. This is the main suspect. And this is the other one that got sentenced today. So this is Jeremy Gibson. This is Chase Winkle. It says, two former Muncie police officers were sentenced on Wednesday for using excessive force and writing false reports. Chase Winkle.
Christopher, sorry to interrupt you. There's a question here. Do you know what caused the mistrial?
No, let me see here.
If you don't know, I can look it up, go back to this, and we'll cover it when you're done.
I think I misspoke. No, it was a mistrial. Yeah, I got it pulled up here. We'll read that when we're done. I got that pulled up.
Okay.
But we will read that here after this one. So it says, Chase Winkle, son of former chief of police Joe Winkle, was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 2 years of supervised release. He was immediately handcuffed and remanded to the custody of the U.S. Marshals. Okay. I want to talk about a couple things here. Number one, that in a lot of these federal cases does not happen. For example, in almost every one of the federal cases that the city of Muncie had, where officials or businessmen, politicos were charged and pled guilty, they were almost always sentenced, and then they were told to report to jail, kind of like Orange is the New Black style, like at a date into the future. And what they're doing, there is like, that's insane. All right. Because I want to say for the record, if I was going to court and you told me that I had to do 2 years in prison and you said, okay, bye-bye. See you in 6 months. You can come and turn yourself in 6 months. I would say, okay, I'll see you in 6 months. And then I would go chill and hope that the lichens would pay for me too. Now, I wouldn't be a sex crimes offender, so, you know, I wouldn't be like a bad guy. But I'm just telling you this. I couldn't physically take myself to be incarcerated. Not that I would resist, and not that I don't understand or feel like if I do something wrong, I should face the punishment, but for the fact that I just don't believe that I could physically walk myself into jail. I'm not going to mention any names or talk about who, but there are some people that are watching this tonight that are aware of a dude that was in a little bit of trouble. Nothing too crazy serious, but was in trouble for just a little something stupid. He was acting up. He was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, out there acting like a heathen, and he got in some trouble. And whatever happened, he needed to turn himself in, and it was going to be a situation where he turned himself in to the jail, and he was going to do like a year and a half or 2 years into jail. And he got to the jail and he did what he was supposed to do. And then he got into the parking lot and he said, I'm not resisting you, but I'm not going to walk in there. I can't walk in there. You're going to have to carry me in. And so he just kind of sit down in the parking lot, and they said, okay. And they carried him in. And then once they got him in there, he was good. He stood up. Everything was good. There was no problem. But he just physically, that's like if you handed me a knife and told me to run the knife through my hand. I am designed to not hurt myself. Like, I can't just do that. I cannot stab myself. I am designed to not inflict pain upon myself. And I believe that walking into prison is inflicting pain upon myself. Yeah, like Josh Fisher said, it's not my job to turn myself in. It's my job to make sure that I am not in pain. It's your job to get me. Not that I would resist or anything like that if I was doing everything specifically. But so yeah, that's just something that I couldn't do. So give me a second here. I had to answer a message. So yeah, yes, live. So it's still live. It's so okay. I was looking here. So yeah. I don't know. I guess a flight risk. You could call me a flight risk if you wanted. Not that I would, if I whatever. I just, I couldn't go to jail and then them say, "Hey, you No, now the deal with Sumners is a different thing. Steve is specifically fleeing. I think he would do whatever he could to evade. I'm not going to evade. I wouldn't go on the run. I wouldn't do anything stupid or whatnot. I just can't take myself to to jail. That's just something I could not do. So in
You'd
a lot of these,
require a pickup?
what?
You'd require a pickup?
Yeah, they'd have to come get me. Yeah. Absolutely. So the thing is, they would have to I don't know, come get me or not. But so what the thing is with federal prison, a lot of times they do this specifically because they are very overcrowded. They have limited space for what they need, and get an Uber. That's what the transport's supposed to be. A county, state, city assisted Uber. We do not deliver. So the fact that, well, we'll get back to that in a moment. So when they immediately took Chase Winkle into custody, I was like, wow, they're not playing around. Now, I'm telling you, obviously, he, his family, and whatnot, they're all floored tonight because I don't know what they thought was going to happen. This is a sweetheart deal for Chase. Chase was looking at 60, 30, 40, 50, 60 years in prison. And the damage that Chase inflicted upon the city of Muncie, he should have done that time. This is way weak. This is way weak. He should have done every bit of at least 30 years. I will say that forever. He should have done at least 30 years. Do they have skinny? Well, he's got the ability to always cut them apart and walk around, in his birthday suit until he makes it himself and does some of that prison MacGyvering that they do, and he can tailor his uniform however he wants. Moving on here with the article. It says Winkle, 36, blamed his actions on anger, check, insecurity, check, stress, check, and off-duty alcohol abuse as he addressed the judge during his sentencing hearing. I know that I was wrong, Winkle told the judge. I wish I had been written up, heavily, disciplined, or even fired. Before heading down her sentence, Judge Tanya Walton Pratt addressed Winkle, saying he terrorized the Muncie community. You cannot blame your dad or the Muncie Police Department, she told Winkle. This is not a one-time lapse in judgment. And I want to be very clear. She's right. This is not a one-time lapse in judgment. And he has to blame himself. But with all due respect, Judge, you're also wrong, because he most certainly can blame his dad and the department. I want to be clear. Chase is at fault. His father is at fault. The department is at fault. It was a culture of corruption. No other way around it. That's the way it was. The department under Winkle for at least the last 6 years of his time as chief, 8, was like the wild, wild west, honestly. And it was a bad deal. So, yeah, Papa Bear Winkle has a lot of blame here. His department has a lot of blame here. But Chase has the ultimate blame. I liked what the judge said, because he has to take personal responsibility. He has to say, yes, I did this. And I generally like this judge, and I don't dislike her. I think this sentence was a little weak. I think this sentence was just a touch weak. But it is what it is. There's nothing that we can do now. She goes on, says Winkle admitted to assaulting 5 suspects and writing false reports to cover it up. Winkle's father, former police chief Joe Winkle, attended and held his head in his hands for much of the sentencing. Earlier Wednesday morning, former Muncie police officer Jeremy Gibson was also sentenced to 14 months in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. Now, I want to stop here for a second and say that the elder Winkle sitting there, look, I know that's going to be tough. I know it's going to be tough having your son go into prison, having been a cop. That's got to be a tough situation, knowing that he's going in there for 10 years. Let's be honest, folks. Winkle admitted to assaulting 5 suspects and writing false reports. 5 suspects. That means he's essentially getting 2 years for each one of his suspects. That's not nearly good enough. So I have gripes about this. It is what it is, but I'm not a big fan of what occurred here. Moving on, earlier Wednesday morning, Muncie Police Chief Jeremy Gibson was sentenced to 14 months in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. Gibson was accused of using excessive force on subject Manny Montero in 2018 and writing a false report to cover it. In May of 2022, Gibson pled guilty to 2 felony charges and charges connected with excessive force and covering it up, depriving arrestees of their constitutional rights and obstruction of justice for falsifying a report about the use of force. Gibson said, "I truly, deeply regret my actions. There is nothing I can do to repair the damage I have caused." Judge Tanya Walton Pratt said Gibson will be allowed to report to the federal prison on January 2nd, 2024, so that he can attend the birth of his 4th child. "I have no excuses for my actions," Gibson said in his sentencing. "My actions have disgraced me and my family." Montero nearly lost an eye as a result of the assault and was severely injured, prosecutors said. As part of his sentence, Gibson must pay Montero restitution, but the amount has not yet been determined. Judge Tanya Walton Pratt called Gibson's actions appalling, saying our society can't tolerate political brutality. Police brutality. Sorry, what's on my head? Police brutality before handing down his sentence. Gibson had faced up to 30 years in prison, but court took into account that he had pled guilty and accepted responsibility. He filed paperwork last week asking a federal judge to sentence him to home confinement, probation, or community service instead of prison. He did not, however, get taken away straight away. That's very important to know. Now, a lot of people are having issues with this, and I want to say I'm conflicted. When they were out beating people up, they could have killed somebody. They weren't giving the people the benefit of the doubt. they weren't letting people go handle their stuff and come back and take a beating later. So do they deserve that? You know, I I don't think that they should do that in these cases. I can understand what they did with the political cases, but in these situations, there are actually real life people out there. And so I'm just very disappointed that Tanya Judge Pratt, did this. I don't think that it is a good thing. I just, how long does a woman get to keep her newborn baby if the baby is born in a jail? Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't know, but I can definitely look that up. Maybe Kate can see. I don't know if there's anything specific, if that's a case by case basis, but that's definitely an interesting question. So, listen, the reason I wanted to talk about this is, I followed obviously what was going on here. This ended what for a lot of people was what they thought the look into corruption in the Muncie Police Department. Okay, everything's good. We have arrested, a few guys. See here, we made some arrests. Everything's good to go. And it's like, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I want to know what the I want to know what steps have been in place to dismantle the culture of corruption. Because while we are starting to get into the position where we are a new and young department, there's still a lot of the old timers on there that were very well connected to all of these people. It's just, I don't know. I just don't believe that the culture of corruption within the police department is taken care of. I believe that there is still an underlying string within the Muncie Police Department. Now, I know I'm going to piss some of you viewers off because I don't believe that culture of corruption is necessarily in every department. I think that there are some departments that are better than others. There are obviously cops that are better than others, but I don't believe that the culture of corruption has been dismantled. I don't believe that. I think that they have taken specific key players out, but when there's a cancer, you've got to remove it all. If you leave even a little bit of it, it comes back, and it comes back with vengeance. So you can't go in and say, well, we got most of it, but there's a couple specks over here we're going to leave. You can't do that. The other thing is, it's going to be interesting to see what the deal is with Corey Pugsley. I always say his name wrong because he's the gentleman here in the center who the mistrial was declared in Muncie police officer's trial for false reporting. And this was back in June. The remaining defendant in the federal government's case against current and former police officers for police brutality or attempting to cover it up resulted in a mistrial. The trial for current MPD police officer Corey Pugsley, which started last Wednesday, not last Wednesday, this was June, but some last Wednesday in June, ended Monday afternoon when the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict after 13 hours of deliberation. According to the court, any decision whether or not to retry the case will be made by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
with autism, Alzheimer's, or a mental health issue.
And that's not that. The government appreciates the service of this jury, said Zachary A. Myers, U.S. Attorney, Southern District of Indiana, in a statement to WRTV Investigates. We have informed the court that this prosecution continues, and we look forward to trying the case as soon as a new date is scheduled. Posley was charged with one count of false reporting, and faced up to 20 years in prison. Allegations against Corey stem from a 2018 incident which Posley is accused of writing a report that implied suspect Lonnie Ganem failed to comply with commands. Posley admitted from the report, his colleague Officer Chase Winkle struck Gannon's head and neck with the knee, and also admitted that Winkle caused Gannon's injury. The indictment read, Posley is the only officer to go to trial out of all of this, which really is interesting to me. It's amazing to me. I don't know how this happens. Now, what's mind-boggling to this officer has been on unpaid leave for all of this time. He has been on unpaid leave for all of this time. Now, just recently, they did away with that because this guy got another in more legal trouble. He was arrested for OWI, I think up north somewhere. So maybe in Elwood. I don't know where he was. They try to corrupt you when you were a cop, Chris. No, I never had any issue with that. I never had someone saying, hey, here, use these drugs, or plant these drugs on people, or, ooh, we just counted $15,000 and he said he had $11,000. Let's make him have none of that ever happened. There was one time where I saw a police officer have a reaction to an individual that I felt he shouldn't have had. But we addressed it, and I told him how I felt. The officer told me how he felt, and that was it, and that was that. And I just really didn't work around him anymore. I explained where I felt. It wasn't anything that like specifically crossed the line, but it was something that I did not appreciate. I didn't like. And that was that. I've been pretty chill from the get-go. You know what I mean? I've been who I am. Muncie police has a very long way to go before they will ever earn trust with the poorest citizens of this town. Listen, Stumblefoot. They should have a long way to go before they earn trust with the most money having citizens of this community. So, I think that that's really interesting with what's happening there. I want to say that looking back on the situation, it said that Posley has been without the department since 2018, and Posley has been with the department since 2018. So the first year he got on, the first year that this cop was a cop, he immediately went into the bad behavior. And in 2021, his salary was $56,386, or $27.11 per hour. He was literally being paid $56,000, almost $56,400 a year from like 19, 20, 21, 22. Literally, I think until he got in the OWI trouble here not too long ago. just mind boggling to me that would happen. Just absolutely blows my mind. So I want to say that I'm still very interested in hearing from the candidates that are running for mayor on what they're going to think about this, what they're saying about this. When you have people that are knocking on your doors, knock, 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 knock. Hey, I'm Dan Ridenauer. Hey, I'm Jeff Robinson. Ask them what they will continue doing if elected. Say, if I give you my vote and you win, what are you going to continue to do to continue to clean up the image of the police department? Ask them questions. Don't just stand there and let them give you their spiel. They have something that they've practiced over and over and over and over in their head, and they're ready to jump out the car and say that to you, hand you the little flyer, talk to you for a second, and get on down the road. This is your chance to talk to them. Your employee has come to you and said, I want a job. This is your chance to grill them. Absolutely grill them on what you want to know about. And you don't have to be rude. You don't have to be out of control. You can just be nice, to the point, say what you want to say, and do what it is. Not just clean up the image, but clean up the department, because that's what matters. Yeah, absolutely. That is very, very, very true. So that's where we all are there. I'm going to tell you, I started making the flyer today. I will finish the flyer this evening when I get off this live, that's going to go out for all of the candidates. We are going to get that stuff sent out. We are going to do it. I'm looking forward to it. We are going to be working on setting up candidate interviews on Tuesday after Labor Day. And I will be talking with Channel 6 tomorrow morning, bright and early, about why they are not paying attention. Maybe she just doesn't know about it. Maybe she just doesn't know about it. And if so, I will make her aware, and we will get that out. And we will make sure that they are definitely aware of what's going on. So that, serve him with a trespass order, Josh. So that's that. Okay, now getting out of there, that's an interesting look at some stuff going on with the police department. Now we're going to really quickly move down about 25 miles south of Muncie, 30 miles south of Muncie, to Newcastle, Henry County, where I am proud to announce professionalism, transparency, and accountability is finally coming to Henry County. You heard that right, folks. The body cams that have been on hold in Sproul's desk, on his desk, in his office for the last several months, it feels like they are here. They're here. They're out. They're ready to go. And so Sproul's made a post about this today, and I'm going to give me a second. I'm going to show you what that looks like. 1 second here. Whoops. Oh, here we are. Now, keep in mind, this has to be sent to me because I am blocked. Okay? I am absolutely blocked from being able to see this. All right. So here's the post that was made. Body cameras are hitting the streets. We are excited to be distributing them to our officers today. Professionalism, transparency, accountability. Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles. Well, Johnny boy, number one, I think it's too late. I mean, it's better late than never. Okay? So it's better late than never. But, I mean, honestly, seriously, at the end of the day, you know, I just don't know. Like Ryan says, they can still turn them off. I would assume they can turn them off. I don't really know what the deal is with these cameras. Different body cameras do different things, and they turn on different ways. There are some cameras that are designed to turn on anytime you flip the lights on in your car. There are some cameras that are designed to be able to be flipped on and turned off and turned on and turned off. It just depends on what kind of cameras these are. I can't tell. Now, keep in mind, folks. No, I just noticed that, Diane. Someone had sent that to me earlier and said, since you can't see this because you're blocked, I will send this to you. So I thought it was on Sproles, the one page. But I just looked when I got that, and I am not blocked from that. So thank God I am not blocked from that county page. That would be a major, 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 major no-no. Speaking of being blocked and this body camera footage, I want to give everybody a little bit of an update. Everyone but Sproles will wear one. That's a very good possibility. As much crime fighting as he does out on the streets, still as sheriff, I would hope he would wear one. But you never know. I think that I could see him easily taking it off and putting it up. It's recording, but it's recording the desk down, or it's recording up. So I could see him doing all sorts of nonsense and thinking, I'm the higher up. No one's going to, question me, because that's how he's approached literally every other aspect of being sheriff so far. So their excuse will be that they forgot to charge them, or they've fallen off in the fight. And look, there are things that are legitimate reasons for people to be fighting and doing things and going hands-on. So those body cameras in those situations protect the cops every bit as much as they do to damn the cops if the cop is acting in a bad way. So, I just wish that they wouldn't fight the body camera move so hard. And I think that they will do it. I think it'll be difficult for Henry County to get used to. See, it's really strange because all other departments have been used to this and have been dealing with this on and off for the better part of the last 15, 20 years. But because Henry County is still in 1950, it makes sense that they wouldn't be, up with the rest of Indiana. Mine fell off when the beanbag gun kicked back the third time in a row. Sproles will wear his like a vlogger camera, so his little silver tooth can go ding and flash in the well, Stumblefoot, in a lot of situations, a felon would probably definitely know the laws better than Sproles. So I can definitely tell you that. That's pretty safe to say. Yeah, me too, Duck. Okay, so along with the body camera footage, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit of information about where we stand with the lawsuit situation. Give me 1 second here as I'm trying to look for Oh, I was like, what am I doing? I know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, I thought I had another email from Gavin from the ACLU. The last I spoke to Gavin informed me that he was kind of in a sticky predicament because so far, up to this point, Sproles has not or will not talk with the insurance attorneys. He keeps saying, no, I don't want this one. No, I don't want this one. No, I don't like what this one has to say. And let me tell you why Sproles is doing that. Because Sproles is delusional. Sproles believes, I'm going to tell you a story and see what you guys thinks about this. Sproles can be part of an event. An event can happen. Okay? We won't use the bus, we won't use the beanbag shooting. We'll just say that this is a new event. We'll say Sproles has something to say in a meeting. So he has something that he wants to say, and he feels that it's very important. Sproles is the kind of person that will do whatever he can to get his point across. He will say it over and over and over and over and over and over. He will have other people say it on his behalf, or he'll use other ways of communication to get his same story around. He has to be the center of attention. The story is always about him. And when it doesn't go his way, he then makes up stories about the situation. He can completely fabricate aspects of the story that have nothing to do with anything else. He can make outrageous claims that go along to back up his thought, his theory, whatever. And then he will act out when we say, we don't believe you. We don't think that this is right. Yes, Joey Simpson. Let me tell you, there's a population of people that, for whatever reason, feel you have to do anything cops tell you, regardless. And that's absolutely there. The thing is, Sproles will play upon that. Sproles will use anything that he can to try and get this message to come across. And when it doesn't, and when he does and it's wrong, or when he is defeated, he then will strike out, and it will be everybody's fault but his. And he will do whatever he can to scorched earth everyone else around him. And I tell you, sometimes, it makes it really hard to believe that she's not crazy. I mean, he's not crazy. Sorry, there's so many people like that. But I'm telling you, and it's like, sometimes it just gets sick. And so, I actually hoped that I could reason with him. But I just am beginning to believe that there is no reasoning. The fact that he feels that he can just fluff off the attorneys. No, I'm not going to talk to you. No, I'm not going to take your advice. And do you want to know why he doesn't want to sit down and talk to the attorneys? Because the attorneys are telling him he's in the wrong. The attorneys are saying, you shouldn't have done what you've done. And he can't stand to hear that. They're wrong. He makes up excuses. They're just simply trying to settle. They don't care. They can't practice law. They're just going to give it, it's all about no. And it's like, no, man. It's about showing you where you're wrong. Sproles has let the power of the king go. Yes. That's not unique to Sproles or Henry County. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It is not. It's not unique to hell. Yeah. It's even closer here at home than what you think. And I tell you, it's really a sight to behold. It's a terror. It's scary. And so it's not good. But those of us that are strong and steadfast against the nonsense, we have to be willing to stand up and fight back against it and stand our ground. And that's what so many of you are doing. And I'm so happy that so many of you still care and are following what's going on, and that you guys are pissed off that other people are not picking up the story in Henry County. Look, I don't care if they pick up my ACLU story. I don't care if they pick up the First Amendment rights story, the Fourth Amendment rights story. I don't care if they pick up the bus or the beanbag. I want them to pick them all up. But I just want a story out there that people will give a shit about. He got taught by all of the others before him. Man, I'm telling you, I'll be honest. I don't even know about that, Shockproof, because he's not been on long enough to be handed down story after story after wisdom, or good or bad, whichever way you wanted to believe it. He's not got that. So I don't know. And what he's done. Oh yes, Charlize. I'm still thinking that the FBI should set up shop in Mount Summit. I'm okay with that. The news media is more worried about covering the violence in Indy. Yeah, right. Yeah. Catherine, elected officials are not immune to consequences of their actions. They choose to serve the people. Democracy does not allow our leaders to wield power without the opportunity for the people to exercise a check on that power, she said in a statement. Yes. Mary says, keep in mind, some in Henry County also may worry about retaliation if they speak out of line. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we have to get people. That's why we have to get people that are willing to say, you know what? I'll stand up. I'll stand up. Because not everybody can. Not everybody has that ability. Everybody has the right to do it. And everybody says, I want to do it. But then sometimes when it comes down to actually doing it, it's hard. And I don't fault those people. That's why I just always say, you've got to let people do what they're good at. So it is what it is. The Ohio House Speaker who was sentenced. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Catherine, I've been following that. I don't know where we are with the lawsuit. The attorney told me, obviously, he was like, well, we know that Sproles changed the wording to his suit or to his page. And he's like, I don't know why he was like, so many of them do that. He said, I don't know why they do that and think that that's going to stop them from, facing this dilemma. He still had the wrong name up before the suit, and it's clear as a bell. And so, I guess we will fight it out. And basically, what the attorney asked me was, if I wanted to try and contact them and ask for a summary judgment, or if I wanted to go about this the long way. And I said, well, I will listen to the advice of my counsel, and if it's not something that's harmful. I said, I have no problem listening to the advice of my counsel. What would you like to do? What do you think we should do? And he said, well, I would tell you that if it was my situation, I would fight it. And I said, forward ho! And so that's the last communication that I've had with him, and we're going forward. So, time will tell. I guess Sproles wants to make this into, a big ordeal, a federal case, as they say. Not really a federal case. It is a federal case. But if he wants to make a big stink out of this, then okay, so be it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's the Sproles story. Now, moving back, spend and waste tax dollars. Yes, ma'am. I heard that, he's the one that said that he wanted them to add a couple extra zeros onto their the attorney's fees because that he was going to need it. And it's like, and he thought that was funny. I mean, he's sitting in this budget meeting and they're talking, and he's like joking about these cases that he is getting racked with, and he's like laughing and joking, very similar to the situation with Marquette Neal in the jail, where he's in a very tense situation. Everybody else is tense and focused and watching what's going on, and he's walking up and making jokes and grabbing and rubbing on other COs and stuff. He's wildly out of place in every situation he's in. And I don't understand how that's possible. How he's always never in the right place. Just admit your error and go on. That's what I said. Somebody told me, I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody told me that Sproles is in a really bad way, that he's really feeling it from all angles, and that he's having, he's just having a really bad go of things. That he thought all of this would be easier, and he just doesn't understand why everything is, always such a big mess, and he doesn't understand why these people are hassling him and yada yada yada. Well, first of all, that's because of his inexperience. If he had spent any time on the road, if he had been a deputy for any length of time and had any training, he would have known that there's a difference between being a deputy and a sergeant. There's a difference between being a patrolman and a sergeant, or a patrolman and a lieutenant, or a sergeant and a lieutenant. There's a difference between being a captain or a deputy. It's lonely at the top. And you don't get to just sit back and party on with your guys now that you're the sergeant, now that you're the lieutenant, the captain, now that you have won sheriff. You have to realize that your time on the road, like it was, is not ever going to be like that again. Sproles isn't ready to give that up. He's only been a cop for 4 years. So that's where we are. That or he needs to go. That's, but I can't get into any kind of talk like that because people don't like it. Joking. I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about here. I will never be shut down. You see the name up here at the top? This says Bilbrey. You see that Bilbrey up there? That's my last name. That's weird. See that other name up there? It says Rudd. That's Brandon's. It's something. You see that Thornburg up there? These are the people who run this show. And you guys. It's more effective if he would step down from his... Yes! Well, yeah, Catherine, but I don't know if you watched last night. Doc, but we went over his finances from the race. Do you know off the top of your head how much Beeman raised for Madison County? Do you know how much? Just ballpark. How dare you, Diane? Sure. I believe that. So did Sproles. So did Sproles, but I think it's a much different way. Do you know about ballpark of how much his campaign finance though was? I don't know if you know. I'm asking for a reason. Sproles, okay, those elections were about, see that? And you know how much bigger Madison County is than Henry County, folks? You see what she's saying there? The race, a county-wide sheriff's race, and the winning sheriff, the campaign finance was about $50,000. Henry County, a much smaller community, and an egotistical crazy man, raises $102,000. $102.5 thousand. $102,000, folks. Sproles by himself funded $70,000 of the race. $70,000 of the race he funded. You know what that is? That's buying a badge. He wants to talk about a badge factory. So, all right, folks, enough of Sproles. We'll put him away until we get some more information. We've got some stuff we're working on there. How much is he making a year? What's he making a year? What's the rundown? 122,000. 122,000 is his yearly pull-in. We got to go back to Muncie here real quick. I got to show you this crazy video out of Muncie. But before we go to the crazy video, we do have to go real briefly and just watch a little bit of the Muncie Board of Works from today. It's Muncie Board of Works Day. It's Wednesday. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Board of Works, 122,000. Insane. So here's the Board of Works. I'm going to put this on just briefly here, and I want us to watch what's going to occur here. And we've got two more things we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to let you guys out of here. So here we go.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the August 30th, if you can believe that or not, meeting of the Board of Works. If you'd like to stand, we're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Lacey, if we could have roll call, please. I'm present.
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 We have been presented with the minutes. Do we have any changes or comments concerning the minutes? Okay.
I move approval of the August 23rd minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the public? Okay. Having none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We have been presented with the Register of Claims from the City Controller, Craig Wright. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just wanted to review a couple claims that I sent out on email yesterday on this week's claims. Really, the larger claims were road projects. We had a paving on Russie, striping on Wheeling, and Tillotson project. And then we also had a couple claims to Humana Insurance for the fire and police pension Medicare insurance supplement, and our usual healthcare claims, and a couple payments made to Star for snowplows and dump truck and equipment. And with that, I will open it up.
Don't say snow plows just yet.
I'm surprised you said you didn't want it after last week.
Okay. Do we have any questions, Linda?
No, aside from those items you just mentioned, it was a lot of utilities and things that were very straightforward. So I have no questions.
And I have none also. Do we have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
I move approval of the claims for $468,960.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any comments or questions from the public? Okay. Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, great. Thank you,
Thank you.
Craig. Okay, so we have some unfinished business with future choice parking lot improvements. And I think today is the day.
Yes, today is the day. We have a contract for this. Finally, it is with Pridemark Construction. And it is for $43,759.12.
Okay,
So we'd ask approval of that. And if you go through that, it has all of the plans in there for what they're looking to do that were drawn up by Flatland. Yeah.
okay, and
Ha!
And this is coming out of unused 2021 funds.
you're wanting us.
No, Audie didn't
you're submitting
go.
this for approval.
Yes.
Okay,
And was this a low bid
Not today.
supplier? Okay.
okay. Do we have a motion to approve this bid by Pridemark Construction?
I move to approve the contract for the Future Choice parking lot.
And I'll second.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Great. Well, having none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we're going to see you again, right?
He'll be-
We have an application for residential handicap parking space renewal for 1924 West 10th Street. Do you have anybody here to represent that? Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. And your name is?
It's Alvina Newton,
Okay,
and I'm here to have my parking place renewed. I know the time is getting pretty close from the COVID part. The reason why I want to get it renewed is that I have arthritis really bad and a bad back. I also have a grandson that I am raising that is in a wheelchair. And I own my home. People on each side of me rent. There's a lot of renters. And I've had a lot of problems with renters parking there. And I've asked them, please not to park there, to move.
Okay.
And I get told off in some pretty nasty words.
so that's your space. We'll protect that
Yeah.
space, right? I like that.
When that happens, do you notify the police?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Matter of fact, last week I did call the police. We had a person that was visiting next door parked there, and I went out and asked, and I was kind of told off in some pretty nasty words. And so I said, well, I'm sorry to inconvenience you. So I went in and I did call the police.
Yeah, I think it's important that they have a record of that. You know, even if they're not able to do much about it, it's still,
Just
it's stuff they need to know.
recently I had my handicap sign moved up 5 feet because I had got a different vehicle, and it's a handicap vehicle. So they did come out and move my sign up 5 feet. So now when I pull in, it's lined up with the main walk,
Okay,
which makes it so wonderful when you're lifting a 12-year-old child.
sure.
So do we have a motion to approve this?
Wow.
I move approval of the handicap space renewal.
Second.
Great. Do we have any comments or questions other than what's been presented? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? We'll take care of you there.
All right,
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming here today.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we have a street closure parade and procession application for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Avery Smith. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you want to tell us what you're going to be doing,
Yeah.
please.
So the Walk to End Alzheimer's is going to be on Saturday, September 23rd. We're hoping to raise $90,000 to support Alzheimer's care and research in Indiana. We're going to be kind of gathering in the Caden Commons Park area. We're going to start around 9:30, have an opening ceremony, and then we'll walk. We'll start at Caden Commons Park. There's going to be a 1 mile loop where we'll loop at Gilbert Street. And then there's also going to be a 2.5 mile loop that uses the Cardinal Greenway for those that want to walk a little more. And then we'll finish up in Caden Commons Park and we'll tear down about 12 p.m. So
Okay.
quick morning event.
And you presented us with a map, so that's very nice.
Yes.
Color coded and everything. Well
Oh,
done.
yeah. Thank you.
And you do have the police chief and the fire chief's approval.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Mhm.
first of all, do we have a motion to approve this street closure and parade permit?
I move approval of the street closure and parade permit.
I'll second.
Okay, do we have any comments or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, great. Thank you, and best of luck
Great.
to you.
Yes, thank you so
I
much.
hope you have great weather.
Yes, me too.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have noise exemption application from Phi Kappa Psi fraternity. If we could have Travis, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us know what you're trying to do, Travis.
So I submitted 2 noise exemptions for
Uh-oh.
tomorrow, Thursday, for the evening party, and then we have one on Saturday as well. We've had meetings with Office of Student Conduct at Ball State, Office of Student Life, and we're having a meeting with UPD to talk about these events. And that's something we've just started doing because I know that the noise exemptions have been getting a little bit tighter for the city of Muncie. So I've been trying to work with the city and work with Ball State as well to try to like get more communication for these events. So they're not just sprung up, but we have 8 to 9 sober monitors for both parties. We'll have an entrance and an exit through IFC rules and regulations. So everything will be there. Set will run through and stuff like that through Ball State. I already have them registered since Monday. So the university is already aware.
Okay. Do we have any comments or questions?
Well, I only have one for 9/2. Is there a second application as well that we're talking about? Did you say you're doing one Thursday?
There was one for tomorrow, and I submitted one for Saturday as well for the second. Yeah, I went. Yeah, I talked to Linda. I gave them both to her. She came out of her car, and I gave her both, and she looked at both the dates, and she said that I'd be good for both approvals.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so on tomorrow, right, which is
31st.
the
We can
31st.
handle it here, yeah.
What is the time frame and what are you
We were starting at 10, and we're running for 3 hours. Per obviously per approval from you guys, and obviously per approval from UPD and stuff like that. Obviously, if things get out of hand, we shut things down pretty early. So that 1 o'clock is kind of like we have the ordinance until then, but say something goes down at 12, we just shut down because we don't want the.
Okay, so I do have a couple questions in light of tightening up these policies and to make sure that we take care of these. First of all, we don't approve anything past midnight. That doesn't mean you can't continue after midnight. It just means that the noise has to go down. Okay.
Okay.
So, and that's been pretty consistent all summer.
Okay.
How will you control the crowd?
So around our property, we have 3 houses on Carson Street and Linden Street on a corner, and we have square footage, 6-foot chain link fencing that goes around our entire property. So from the back alleys all the way to the front, we also have a 5-foot snow fencing that comes in front and blocks off our whole yard since it is outside. In the past, we've had issues with people trying to jump fences and stuff. So that 6-foot chain link, like construction fencing that you'd see, that City of Muncie would put out, we just have that around our whole property. And then we have an entrance and exit in the front. And then we have 3 people at door, sober monitors running door. And then we have
Will there be
the
alcohol
rest,
at the event?
the rest of our 5 sober monitors around the yard, floating, making sure people are good. And then we also have a first responder / sober tent that's also in our property inside the fence for waters and stuff like that, just to keep people safe and stuff like that. So
How many people are you anticipating each night?
so on the form I put 100 to 150, and that's only because through when I registered through IFC through Ball State, they only give me a certain amount of so it's like a category from like 0 to 50 and then like 100 to 150. So I just mimicked what I did on the registration. Typically on a night, that's usually around 100 floating in and out is usually what we see at one time. That's usually not, we usually don't have like big crowds. Usually people move around, go to Riverside, stuff like that. So that's probably the anticipation, but that's as many sobers as we have. That's as many people as we can. So 150 is the max that we can actually hold for the amount of sobers that we have present.
Okay. And go ahead.
Yeah, do you anticipate alcohol usage?
Yeah, there will be alcohol at the event. Through IFC, through Ball State, I also registered it with a social event with alcohol. So set will be running through. So IFC and Ball State will send 1 to 2 people out. They'll survey the event before the event starts, make sure everything's good, no open containers. We do ID. We make sure that people that are underage aren't bringing alcohol into the event. What they do at their own house is up to them. But when they come to our event, if they have water bottles, we don't know what's in that, so we make them dump it out. Extra liquor, if they have bottles, anything like that, we make them either bag at the front and we put a name tag on it, or we just say, hey, we can't let you in with that type of.
We don't do that.
alcohol.
And you've done this before?
Yeah,
Yes, man.
I'm the
Yes,
only one
man.
that I've seen you guys
I know,
plenty
I know.
of times, and
So,
we've done.
have
many
you had any
ordinances.
problems in the past?
We've had problems in the past with like paired events. but we've stopped that. So
He is.
With
He's
what kind
doing
of
a good job.
paired events.
Okay.
So
Ignorant.
last spring, you guys approved a 3-way pair, which was with me and 3 other fraternities, Phi Delta and Phi Sig. We've been doing that for the past 3 semesters. Last semester, we did it like really well, but it was a lot of work because we really had to like focus on having police there and like really doing all the ID and stuff, because you really can't trust students at the end of the day. But we stopped doing. You really can't, and it took a while for us to understand. Last September, we got into a little bit of a trouble with the university, but we cleared that up within a month because some girl just came and decided just to basically just black out on our front step. She was outside the party, but she was there. We got her all the help she needed, but obviously, like anything that happens like that, Ball State kind of nips it in the butt right away. But we handled all that, and then the next time that we threw it last spring, they were really what's the word I'm looking for? They were really happy that we were able to do all the rules and regulations the way they wanted to. They really liked how we put it on. But our fraternity and the other fraternities were just like, it's just too much work for us. So we've stopped doing that. But anything that you guys have approved that's solo for us, we usually have no issues. No.
Okay. You said you are working with Muncie Police Department?
UPD. We usually work with UPD and Sergeant Cooper. We've been with her a lot and talking with her a lot. She's coming to our chapter too to talk to us about how to, handle these events from sober monitor to, a brother that has had a couple drinks, how to handle the police coming and stuff like that. So she's really given us a couple workshops on how to do that.
Will they have, one thing that's important is communication. Will they have your contact information or others who, if there's a problem, they can call you before they come in or whatever? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. So our president for Phi Psi, Cam Wilson, that's why he's meeting with student conduct, student life, and UPD, probably Sergeant Cooper. And he's going to give his information. And we usually give whoever the head sober is that night that information. So then when the police do come, that contact is with someone that is sober, is there to do the job that's there, right? So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
No.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve this?
Yeah, I would move approval of the application.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'd just like to say before I vote, I've struggled with this because we've denied other noise exemptions. I think you're acting responsibly. You're anticipating the problems, and I think it appears that you have adequate crowd control. So I probably will vote in favor.
Okay. Well, great.
But we're watching.
Yeah.
No, of course. And like, we try to keep things really tight knit around us just because we don't want the extra trouble.
Okay. And I, just to make one clarity on this, is that the noise ordinance, noise will only go to midnight.
Yes.
Not past midnight.
Yes, sir.
Again, that doesn't mean you can't
I
continue. It
struggle
just
with
means
this
you have
too,
to
Joey.
tone it down. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, down to acceptable levels.
That's correct. That's
Not
correct.
just,
Which is within
Yeah.
40 feet of the property.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I already looked at I've read the ordinance probably millions of times. So yeah,
Thank you
definitely.
for being responsible.
I swear I submitted the one for September 2nd.
Oh.
How to just get that
Well,
figured out?
yes, it's the
So
Thursday night.
we don't have for.
We'll do both of them
Yes,
at
we'll
one
do
time.
both of them and
Awesome.
then we'll make it accordingly.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So any other comments, questions? Okay. Having none for the board, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much for presenting this the way we believe it should be. So thank you.
No problem.
What does that mean?
Great. Thank you very much.
And incidentally, we've changed our form.
Yes. that's what I
So,
was gonna
so
say.
the next time you put that in your file, that make sure you draw down the new one. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool.
$1 million, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Next, we have
Million.
Department of Public Works Streets approval of the route plat and covenants. Good morning.
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 Tybus Flatland Resources. This is a restrictive covenant for a levee that's over on the east side of town at the Kitzelman Trailhead. And the restrictive covenant puts a piece of property in perpetuity for the sole purpose of maintaining and operating a levee to protect flood areas that would be west of the levee. It's on city property, so the covenant would restrict that ground. It's in the floodplain. No one could ever build there in the future.
Okay. Your maps are detailed. Your
Yeah.
drawings.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have any comments or questions?
No.
Habitat, Eco Rehab, and Home Savers is we will front fund each one of those organizations at about $25,000 at a time. And then through our office, we will vet potential homeowners and make sure they meet the federal income qualifications, do a home inspection, make sure they meet habitability, do an environmental review. So that all goes through our office. And then we assign them to these various organizations based on what type of project it is and what they already have assigned. And then when they have used up their 25,000, they come to us to request additional funding. And we just do that until the 268 is gone. That's why it's one amount for all three contracts, because they do different things. So Habitat and Eco Rehab just do roofs for us. In between the two, we did 17 roofs out of 2022 funds. And then Home Savers does most primarily HVAC work for us, replacement furnaces, replacement air conditioners. They also do the ramps and the tub to shower conversions. The ramps, especially, that Home Savers is well known for. So we did 4 of those type of projects as well. So we did 31 projects out of the funds from last year.
Excellent.
So did they present a type of report of what all they did?
Yeah, so they present a claim to us for each one that we have to approve. So they go and get the bids for the projects, do all the work, and then they submit that all to us. We approve it, and then when we approve that, so each one of these organizations gets a service fee per project they do from us, and they can't get that until they've turned everything in for that project, and we've approved it.
Okay, great. Okay, any other comments or questions?
I will say that it's a paperwork heavy reporting to get that reimbursement, but the projects that are done make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know how the city would operate without these 3 organizations.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, we get a lot of phone calls from people who do not live in the city of Muncie. I get calls from people who live in Yorktown, people who live in Selma. Well, can you help me? No, I mean, it's city of Muncie. I mean, so yeah, this is a really great program for the city.
That's really neat. Okay, do we have a motion to accept this?
I move approval of the contracts with Home Savers, Eco Rehab, and Habitat for Humanity.
And I'll second.
Yeah, that's great. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I do have one other, just to make it public record, but the fire department do collections at different street corners, street collections. They had approval to do this on the past Friday, the August 25th, although it was canceled because of the sun bearing down on our community that day. And so they are looking for a September 1st date, which we've as an alternate date, and it's the same time and same location as we approved. So
I think we should probably
vote on it.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. So
Yeah.
do we have a motion to approve this alternate date?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Great. Responsible again to come and bring it to us. So thank you. Any other public?
We need to vote.
Yeah. Any other public comment or question? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Carried. Do you have any other business to be brought before the Board of Works? Okay. For those of you who are waiting for some documents, we'll sign those and then they'll get you a copy of those. Okay. Very good. Meeting adjourned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So while we were listening to that rather boring meeting, number one, God, that was a boring meeting. Number two, God, those people are idiots. Number three, man, those people are stupid idiots. I'm so sick of all of that nonsense. I am just so sick of it, man. Dave's not here. I'm so sick of it, man. It's so dumb. When are people going to learn to quit asking for permission to have fun? It's me, Dave. Yeah, man, I just don't understand it. I cannot get it. So here's the thing. While I was also going through them, because what happens at the beginning, will the firemen be drinking alcohol? Good Lord, I got to say this. I'm glad that they, now will you open up the door? That's my favorite part when he says that. I've got to say that I am the first part of that, when Craig gets up and he does the bills, they're paying the claims. I am always so suspicious of what exactly they're doing during that period. I wish he would go over it more, and they don't. And so what we've got to do, okay, is when they're doing that, and from now on, I guess I'll start doing this, but I want to take you guys and I want to show you what we've got to do. And this is what I was doing. And I probably could have fast forwarded that a little bit, but I was searching for something, and I really got into searching, and I found a couple of interesting things. So first and foremost, department. Okay, so here is where I was. You go to the City of Muncie website. No. You go to the City of Muncie website, and it looks like this. And you go to the controller section of the page, and it says a bunch of dumb stuff like about office, finance division, finance reports, archives, monthly expensive, weekly claims. Now you can go to these monthly expenses, but I think they're junk and they don't have them on there nearly fast enough. But these weekly claims, they do. So what you want to do is you want to click on the weekly claim. You can also go here, right, just down here, and click on the weekly claims for 8/25 and 9/1. Well, 9/1 is now. That's the most recent. And so that's what I did. So it then takes you over here to this, and it looks like that. And then when you click on that top one, 9/1, it then takes you to this, and it looks like this. And here's what I'm looking at, okay? Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what's going on with the Y. So I wanted to see if their city's paying anything for the Y just yet. Now, how are we going to know what the Y is? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to look for some of the main bills that, a business would pay. You're going to look for Indiana American Water. You're going to look for Centerpoint, which is the gas, I guess. You're going to look for AEP, American Electric. And so you're going to look for those things. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type in Muncie, Indiana, YMCA, Mulberry to the old Google machine, and you find out that the address for the Muncie, that YMCA building, is 500 South Mulberry Street. So that's the address. So we're going to look for anything at 500 South Mulberry, okay? Because you can see here where it says, I'll blow it up here so you can see it real big. You see here where it says Indiana, Michigan Power, 300 North High Street, 17 accounts. Well, 300 North High Street is the city of Muncie. That's the city hall. That's the city building. So that's what that check went to pay, was 17 accounts, 300 North High Street. You come over here all the way over and you see what they paid on those 17 accounts was $696.50. So for this week, all of the Indiana and Michigan Power that they paid, 17 accounts for the city high, 6 accounts for the Parks Department, and 7 accounts for WPCF, which I don't even know what that is. Okay, and you come here and you look. Okay, well, this week they spent $1,258.84. Okay, that's about standard. I've not found anything with the Y yet, but look what I found here. Vendor, Indiana University Health. Okay, does anybody see what that says? City of Muncie Crisis Center. Paid by check. Come over here. Okay, what is this? $252.60. Paid to who? For what? Why? Okay, you come down here to the next page. Oh, look. City of Muncie. All right, that was check 307. This is invoice number 3. That was 306. This is 307. City of Muncie Crisis Center. Paid by check 826. This is 826. So, okay. This is on the same check. Let's see what it says here. Oh, $237.19. So they in total paid Indiana Health University $489.79 for something to do with the crisis center. But why? What are they paying the crisis center for already? Oh, yeah. What Kate said right there, I'm going to put this up so people will see this. You have to go through each week's claims to check for the addresses. You'll go blind doing it, but you sure do find a lot of shit. And that is a true statement. You will find, this is one of the number one ways that we find content. We'll be looking for something, and then because we're looking for something else, we see, oh my God, well, they've been paying the crisis center for 6 months. Well, what are they paying the crisis center? Who's getting that money and for what? I mean, I know that they cut the grass, and I know that they've been taking the old fixtures and furniture and stuff out of there and letting that guy sell it, but I don't know what work they've been doing, really, other than that. So then we come down here and we see, okay, so I don't think there's anything in this set of claims that's going to be for the Y. So they're good on this one. However, we still don't want to just give up. We want to look it through to the end, because you never know what kind of crazy crap we're going to find. Okay. Muncie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How much are we paying that? $200. Who's getting paid for that? Why are they getting paid for that? Who's learning that? I don't understand. Okay. We're almost done here. Solve Tech. Sherwood, interesting. Landscaping. Talking about. Steve W. Schroyer. I don't understand. Almost business. Almost done here, folks. We're almost done here. All right, we're done with that one. Now, what we got to do, though, because we don't want them to have snuck something through, so we must go back. I'm going to show you here. We're going to go back and do 825 because it was last week or the week before that they decided to do that. So we're just going to jump over here and we're just going to double check and make sure that everything is on the up and up. Where is Henry County's and Newcastle's? Like, dude, it's not broke like this. It's not. Hey, Audie, is the moon really cool? You ought to try to take some pictures of it, dude. 825. All right, let's jump. Let me jump you to there. Don't go away. At the very end of this, I'm going to let you hear an audio from Mayor of Muncie, and I don't know what it is. So weird. Just the best. Remember that. City of Muncie, always the best. All right. American. Okay. Button Fire, of course. Boys Animal Hospital. Chelsea M. Perkins. Okay. And they spend so much money on Comcast, it's not even funny. Coop's Lawn Service. Shoo-wee. They are spending a lot of money with them. Endpoint Creative. How much do they pay? $300 to Endpoint Creative. Flow Solutions. That sounds like what I check with when I got a kidney stone. Flowers Wholesale. Lock Professionals. That's the way to be. HWC Engineering, of course. All right, Indiana American Water. Okay. All right, so I don't see anything there. Don't see anything there. 809 West 8th Street. $12. So of course we are paying at 809. This is always special.
I also saw up in Indiana, Michigan Water, 809 West 8th. So it's Crisis Center Utilities.
Stupid. Just absolutely stupid. Paying on that. And I know people, you might be like, this isn't very fun. This is boring. But this is where it's at. This is where you This is where we're like, what? Who are they paying that to? Oh my God, I got to do a record request. And then that's when the shit blows up and we go crazy. Deep plant studio. Bruise relief. $500. Okay. So, did he lie to me when I asked him how much they had paid and he said we hadn't paid anything? That's interesting. I'll have to look at what the date was when he told me that, because there it is, $500. Is that all they gave them? True Building North. Here's True Building North. City of Muncie Crisis Center. $21,000. Whoa. Now that's a thing. So those guys that are crew that want to do the thing at over on McKinley with those houses that we talked about, the CRU, here they are as TRU at the City of Muncie Crisis Center, getting a check. True Building. North. That's why we didn't find them, because we didn't put in that North. True Building North LLC. Paid check. $5, 7, 5, 3. State 8. And the amount is for $21,292. You know, and it's like, what is that? Where's that coming from? What fund is that coming out of? Vendor, there it's vendor 0001.
Well, I just looked them up on the Secretary of State's website. It's interesting.
Okay.
It's True Building North, right?
What it says?
True-Building North LLC. Yeah?
Yeah.
So its principal address is in Muncie, Indiana. Its creation date is March of 2021. The president is Jeff Jones, who lives in Wichita, Kansas. And the registered agent is Chad Ray out of Daleville, Indiana. Just kind of odd.
That's strange. Give me those names again. Chad Ray. How do you spell Ray?
RAY.
Okay, out of Daleville.
Uh-huh.
And who's the other?
Jeff Jones. Out of Wichita, Kansas. And the principal office address is 2111. 111. Yeah, 3 1s.
Yeah.
West Godman Avenue.
Yep. I know right, that's it.
Okay.
Weird.
That's a little strange. So sorry.
Weird. No, that's good. See, and that's the reason why we weren't looking for that. And that's interesting, folks. We had no idea that those guys are already getting paid large amounts of money for whatever's going on. We don't even know who those people are. Crazy. Press. YMCA of Muncie we paid $36,000. What in the what?
That's for that new registration system. You know, where they take your blood and, you know, promises for your firstborn child, and then you can go into e-pool.
Did you hear something I didn't hear? I mean, I knew about that. I knew what you're talking about, but why are we paying that much? That's an ungodly amount of money.
I don't know. All the blood testing they have to do, and, you know, legal for, you know, contracts for the firstborn.
25.97 64. And it's vendor.
I know you're not on screen. Annie had an interesting idea, probably paying for the staffing if the employees or YMCA employees staffing to e-pool.
Yeah, that's probably true, but good Lord, 36,325.26. Yeah, so that's the end of that. So that's what that is. But I tell you, now we know for a fact that they didn't pay the claims on the YMCA last week or this week. They're going to have to in the next week or two, and we're going to have them. So that's interesting there, folks. Minus this down. So that's that. I'm going to talk to you guys about the last two things that I have to talk to you about here tonight, and then I'm going to let you go. I know we've been going a little long, and I'm sorry I started a little late, and that's my fault solely, and I appreciate you for bearing with me. Two things I want to mention. Number one, probably paying for that's crazy. Two things I want to mention. One, I'm going to try to pull this picture up so I can show you. So that we talked about, I talked about Sproul's tonight in Henry County. I talked about the big Muncie story with the officers being arrested, but there were two big stories out of Muncie today, and both of them were good stories, but they were both no. I don't know what I'm saying. Both of them were big stories, but neither one of them are good. Neither one of them are good. It's not good. It's good that these officers are going to serve time and they're in trouble, but it's bad that this has had to have happened. It's not good for the city of Muncie. That's really bad. It's not a good thing. I'm not proud of that by any stretch. It's weird. It's not a good thing. This next story is very similar to this. Yeah, Joey, true got that. This next story is very similar. I'm going to share this here for you guys to see it. I know it's going to be a little hard for you to see. This is the front of a business. And what this picture says is permanently closed. We're sorry for the inconvenience. Permanently closed. We're sorry for the inconvenience. We're closed. Permanently closed as of 8/30/23. Thank you. And it just reminds me the two probably I was a Seinfeld freak, and I hated when Seinfeld went off the air. And there are two types of people in this world: people that love the Seinfeld ending and people that hate the Seinfeld ending. And I am a Seinfeld fan in as much as I love the ending. I think the ending was great. I would have liked 10 more endings. I would like 10 more episodes, 10 more seasons, whatever it is, what it is. They went out on top. I always like Jerry said, the Beatles quit basically after 9 years. He quit after 9 years. Go out wanting them, with them wanting more. And that's a good way, because it is what it is. But besides Seinfeld, there's always two of the most sad endings of sitcoms ever. And those two sitcoms are, number one, MASH, when they're flying over in the helicopter and it says goodbye and he waves. That's just gut-wrenching. And then Cheers. Cheers is horrible. When it shows them, he's like walking around and he's like looking, and he's cleaning up the desk, Ted Danson is, and he walks over and it shows a couple coming down the stairs, and he turns the light off and they try the door and he says, "Sorry, we're closed." And then the light goes down. I just remember being a young little kid and thinking, oh my God, that's so sad. They're closed. Where are those people going to go to drink? This reminds me of that. We're sorry, we're closed. This is the mailroom. And unless you are from Muncie, you have got no clue what this is. This is not a post office. I'm like, it's like a great value post office. A Dollar Tree post office. You could go in here and you could mail things. They had some kind of contract with the post office, but you could also buy boxes. You could buy, it's a seller of purses and junk. My mother, when COVID happened, my mother made up a bunch of, they'll have to go somewhere where no one knows their name. My mother made up a bunch of COVID masks and took them here, and this place bought them off of her. And I've still got masks there. It is my contention that they owe my mother around $300. So it is what it is. Candies, trinkets. Yeah. See, there she's posting. I've still got masks there. You don't have masks there. You have money there. You have money. They owe you money. They don't owe you masks. They sold the masks and they kept the money. So they just sell. It's like if the Hallmark store and a penny candy store and the cardboard box of Staples had an illegitimate kid. This is what that is. And the mailman's involved, of course. It's a very useful store. It's north side Muncie. It's the only post office on the north side. Absolutely, Annie. It's ran by somebody that is just someone that for the longest time I considered a friend. We were very friendly, but we are no longer friends, and it's not my fault. It's her fault. We are no longer friends because she thinks that what I say is just absolutely detestable. I speak out about her dear manager, her dear mayor, and I am in the wrong. It is ran and it's owner operated. They're buying contract to own, rent to own kind of thing. Shireen Wegley.
The irony is they sell cardboard boxes and you say that she has the personality of one.
No, that's not her. That's
not her. That's
Clark.
Linda Munson.
That's
Wrong
Linda Munson.
one.
Close
See?
enough. They're friends.
Ruining my jokes, man.
Yeah, right. So this is Shireen Wegley. For those of you that don't necessarily know the name, Shireen Wegley is the assistant for Dan Ridenauer. She's also the girl on the MRC that talks like this. You all know who she is. Next Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting, I'll say, look, it's her. So the mayor's secretary runs this. All right. Now I want to say this. 500 people sent me this picture today. 500 people, at least. Oh man, what do you think about this? This is good. Give it to him. Ha! Yeah, her husband's the deputy controller. Their bread and butter comes from the city of Muncie. So the thing is, I don't celebrate this. This is not a good thing. I don't have a problem with Shireen. I don't care how she's treated me. I don't care for how she's treated a lot of other citizens over the last year and a half. I don't care for the fact that she is so wrapped up into warped identity politics that it's just you can't even remotely have a conversation with her that's of any kind of intelligence. If you're not praising her mayor, then to hell with you. All right. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I do not revel in any business closing in Muncie because any business closing is not good for a city, any city, a town, a county. It's not good. It's not good. My father was a small business owner. He was a small business owner, and the business was a large business. It was a moneymaker. It did work all over the Midwest. It did work, everywhere. They sent work to. They did work for the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. They've sent stuff to England. They've done work for the United States Olympic team, for the diving team, for the gymnastics team. They've done things for senators and former presidents. They've worked for literally everybody at some point doing all sorts of things. At one point, one of their biggest, the awning, it was Muncie Tent Awning. It was an awning company. And at one point, they had the account for Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster Video was opening a store every 3 hours, and they couldn't keep those things pumping out fast enough, those awnings, to go up and put in different places. So my dad ran a pretty successful small business. That being said, I know what it's like for a business owner to struggle and to see the worry and the stress, that goes into it. So I don't revel in the fact that any small business in Muncie closes, specifically, a small business that does a lot of great work. I hate that. I also am not somebody that will hate on Shireen or anyone else simply for our political views being different. It's not like I would be like, well, if we were still on the same side, this would suck. But because you like Dan, this is fine. I don't do that either. However, like Annie has said, where I take an issue with this where I have an issue with this is because they have taken money from the taxpayer dole. Now, do we have those pulled up here? I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them. Oh, damn, that's really good. Here's the ARP Small Business Committee. Okay, now, as you see on here, one of the committee members is Ted Baker. That's the Mr. Fun that we just saw. Kimberly Ferguson is a citizen. Matt Wegley is the deputy controller for the city of Muncie. So he's a city employee. And he happens to be the husband of Shireen. Okay. And it comes down here and says, any committee members with conflict of interest was instructed to recuse themselves from scoring that business. Now, I don't know if they did or not. I don't know what he did. I'm going to have to find that out. It says the maximum award that anyone could get is $25,000. Good old jokes, Charlize. Been hearing stuff like that for years. There used to be people that used to come in and just get the tags to put in to sew onto people's jeans and stuff. Good fun times. So it says the maximum award that someone could be given out of this ARP is $25,000. Well, if we skip forward here, whoops, we see that the mailroom received, lo and behold, it was one of the only places that received $25,000 in its grouping. So it received $25,000. So I just, I don't like that. Now, the other issue here, and I was trying to pull that up, and I was doing that, and I was coming in. Okay. Loans, where did the PPP, Indiana Paycheck Protection Program, where did that go? Okay, we can search it by name. Marion County. The mailroom. Okay, right here. Here we go. That was easy peasy. The Mailroom LLC, 4801 North Wheeling Avenue, $14,000. Forgiveness amount, $14,118.52. Jobs retained. Business type, direct mail advertising. Limited liability company, Star Financial. Date approved, April 14th, 2020. This is, I think, all it says. Let me look on here. See if I can get it to say anything else. Okay, so this is can you still see this? Yeah. It tells all this crap. Yeah. Taxes haven't been paid in 2 years. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here with this. So,
Did you also see that their estimated payroll expenses for a year were estimated to be $67,000
yeah.
at $9 an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on there exactly? That's really funky. So they got $25,000. They got $25,000 from the ARP fund. So roughly they got $40,000 from the government. Taxes haven't been paid in 2 years. And both Shireen and her husband get their weekly check from bi-weekly, whatever, from the city of Muncie. And they are hardcore right now, or supporters, friends. So, look, I'm not going to say they weren't deserving of ARP money. Maybe they were. I don't know. I didn't really sit through in many of those hearings. I don't know if they Zoomed them or not, or whatever meetings. I didn't sit through them. I think it's probably safe to say that maybe they deserved some portion of this. I don't know if they deserved the full 40. Maybe they did. Maybe they said, well, we needed 140. Who knows? But all I can tell you is I don't think people should necessarily be like reveling in this and be happy, because it's a business going out. Like Annie said, this was a perfect place for people on the north side to be able to go and post a letter. Man, you got to drive all over the south side and, to be able to post a letter. There's 3 post offices on the south side of Muncie within about, as a crow flies, within about 4 miles of each other. There is no post office on our northwest or northeast side. So this was a good place to go. And there was a lot of other stuff in there that, could be interesting for people. So I'm not saying that this is something that needs to be raked over and we just go and go and go and go and go, because at the end of the day, they're just employees there. Okay. Did people not use the business? Run a business? That's a good question. They're going to say, I'm sure, that, they're doing everything they could and whatever. Secretary of State business page shows Sean Phillips as the president. Wonder if he's going to have the contract open up to someone else. That'll be interesting because, again, people may or may not know this. They didn't just outright directly own it. They were in the process of like renting to own. They were on the payment plan to buy it, to buy the building and to buy the name and to buy the whole, everything. And so, I don't know where all that was, but
that sounds to me like they were overextended.
Yeah.
They jumped in feet first, trying to buy a name, buy a building, all this stuff right off the get-go. And that's usually things that you want to wait on.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like they probably overextended themselves, which is sad because,
yeah,
it's a business closing.
It really is. It really is. But it just comes down to this mayor tends to do things that benefit the people the closest to him. And I'm sorry, but you can't fit all 80,000 citizens right up next to him all day, every day. He needs to be able to do things outside of his nest. And we need to be able to trust that just because someone works for the mayor doesn't mean they're going to get some kind of special treatment or going to get something that, maybe other people aren't getting things. All I'm saying is I'm not celebrating this, but this just deserves to be looked at, and it deserves for questions to be asked. That's just the way that it is, So see where we are with the comments, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. It's Christopher's mom's fault. She didn't sell enough masks. I've been told they didn't have enough money to buy stamps and honor the contract with UPS. That's pretty close to what I've been told. Looks like the tax on the property. Okay, yeah, so we know that. So, yeah, Kimberly Ferguson owns it. I didn't know Kimberly Ferguson owned the whole Patterson building. I thought she owned a business in there or rented a business in there. When I found out she owned the whole damn building, I was blown away. I was like, you go, chick. That is pretty badass. I know she and I don't always agree on things, and we butt heads every now and then, but we've also been pretty cool with each other, and I respect her, and she is a hustler. She is the definition of the word hustler, and she is awesome at what she does. And for her to own the entire Patterson building, wow. That is a huge undertaking. It doesn't have anything to do with the mailroom, Annie. That just brought up because Kim Ferguson was one of the she was one of the here they are. One of the ARP a small business committee members, Ted Baker, Kimberly Ferguson, Matt Wagley, Seth Rawlings, Peggy Wyann Clemens, Courtney Marsh, and Danielle Bradford. So that's just something that Jackie was pointing out, and that's interesting to me. And just the fact that she owns the damn Patterson building blows my mind. That's really awesome. So that's my question: is who owes the taxes? If this is, do we know? Is it who owes the taxes? I guess it would depend on what it may. I mean, it would just determine the paperwork that would determine who owns it, what their lease, what their agreement said. Would it be Sean Phillips, or would it be the Wagleys? I don't know, but I think the Wagleys have. I've always liked Shireen. Shireen and I have always been able to talk and communicate. We've always been able to agree on some things and disagree on others, and moreover, agree to disagree. And that always worked until about a year and a half ago. She really turned hardcore when she just started barking at everyone on social media and not being able to have a pleasant conversation. I just said, enough of this. So it is what it is. I don't have any ill will towards her, but I definitely think that they're sneaky. I think that they're it is what it is. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly is a great entrepreneur in many endeavors. She has no affiliation with the mayor. Yeah, absolutely. Mayor only hires the best. Oh, speaking of the best, this is what we're going to go out on. I'm glad you said that. Let me show you a wonderful conversation. Stand by here briefly. Let's show you what we got going on here.
So you say
This is
that you found
this
the
is like
box
a pretty
that
normal
he usually
occurrence of
inhabits,
what happens at
and it
City
was
Hall.
empty, and you found it at the Adams
This is
Manor
kind of what
Library.
goes on at City Hall any
You think
normal
someone
day.
is- Okay, so you
All right, so listen, I saw this and I was like, what in the hell is this? I thought it was something from the city of Muncie. I thought it was something that they did, or I don't know what it was. In all fairness, he's being cool here. Have you not seen this? I sent this to you. Look at this. I thought, what in the fever dream is this? So, in all fairness, it's something that the mayor's doing that's kind of for fun. They're doing something that is, this guy's supposed to be Lurch from the Addams Family. I don't remember Lurch ever sounding that way. I don't really know. Stumblefoot. So this is what it is. It's special announcement from Mayor Dan Ridenour.
Hello, citizens of Muncie. We bring you this
See,
special
he's always so happy when he's being able to do theater. He's so much better at being a theater actor, an actor on the stage, than he is being the mayor. I wish he would get into theater and leave
podcast
politics
as a
alone.
call to action to help us solve a mystery that has befallen our great city. Here to give us a first
Where in the hell is an actual mayor? Oh, that's not the mystery? Okay.
hand account of this situation is Lurch, the butler to the esteemed Addams family.
So I never truly got out what, because Dan talks to him.
And thing, the Addams family beloved helping hand thing, has gone missing from the manor. Where was he last seen? So you say that you found the box that he usually inhabits, and it was empty. And you found it at
You found the box that he usually inhabits. What a weird thing.
the Adams Manor Library. Do you think someone is responsible for this heinous act? Adams family is involved, but none of them are willing to admit this. This is a predicament. How can we in Muncie help you? Okay, you heard him, folks. Come to Cannon Commons between 5:30 and 7:30 on first Thursday, September 7th. Grab your tracker, you'll have a map, and then investigate all 10 suspects and pieces of evidence at downtown Muncie businesses. We will have you report your findings and a chance to earn a reward when we convene the team at 8 p.m. at Cannon Commons once again. Please lend us a hand. Poor choice of words, I'm sorry. Please help us solve this Muncie mystery.
Okay. Alexis. It's not. Oh, what? That's not Richard Ivy. What the hell? That can't be a serious question. Oh, no. Are we playing Catch the Killer? No. I know. Are we playing Catch the Killer? We don't have a real mystery in Muncie to solve. Kind of like who killed the people on the 29th? Like, we've got an actual mystery to solve. Why don't we do that? I don't really understand. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Green Mile, Muncie style. I don't know what this was. Look, I don't have a problem. Shit's gotta happen. It's just so weird. I just thought that was the best thing. Dude, you're the honorary bastard of the week, Jackie, for that comment. It must have been Shireen's idea. Oh, good Lord. I think that this was probably, I could see this being something that Michelle put together and loved. She seems like she would be a little theater-like. Good idea, bad execution. Don't let Sproul see this. He'll send 4 patrol cars. Not really a good idea to portray a black man. Well, so here's the thing. I like it because Lurch is normally a white person, so they're playing Lurch. As I don't know who this guy is. He seems like a big dude. I don't know who's giving. Nobody's giving advice. There's no advice. That's the mystery. Find out what the hell is going on. If that guy walked into the Henry County Sheriff's Department, Sproul's helmet would be on immediately. Okay. Oh. So, okay. All right. We know who he is. He seems like a good dude. I don't understand. I thought he was like an actor or something, and that this was part of a, like the Civic was doing the Addams Family or something. I thought that this was a thing. I mean, I guess I take it that this guy's never seen the Addams Family, because I didn't really get that. And I don't know. I was more of a Munsters fan. I watched the Addams Family, but I like the Munsters better. All right. Well, it's time for the postscript. I just need to know how they approached this guy to ask him to participate in this. Dan is creepy Uncle Fester. Always. Well, maybe if he had not been hiding from the black community up to this point, it may have been a bit more tasteful. No, Mary, I'll tell you what the deal is. I'll tell you exactly what the deal is off air. Postscript, folks, I'll just add in here that I still cannot believe that. Just remember, when you have an actual murderer running around your town, it might not be a good idea to play a mystery theater style version of Find the Killer running around your town. That's probably not a good way to bolster election points. All right. Like, subscribe, share. What is tonight? Is tonight Wednesday? Tomorrow, folks, I will be here. We will have important stuff to talk about, but I'll more than likely be on the air from the road. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. See you then, God willing. Good night. Jackie. I saw that, Joey Simpson. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. You need to take care of that guy.